Thank you for joining us. In just the past hour, China has carried out a second devaluation of its currency, the yuan. It follows yesterday's near 2% devaluation, with a further cut this Wednesday of just over 1.6%. The first already rattled markets around the world as China tries to boost its flagging export and manufacturing sectors. Let's get the very latest now from our Asia business correspondent, Karishma Vaswani. Karishma, walk us through this. What is China doing here now 2 days in a row?
Well, many of the analysts I've been speaking to over the last couple of days, Daniela, said to me that this was to be expected. That initial devaluation that we saw on Tuesday was a tiny blip in the ocean if China was actually trying to do what it hasn't blatantly said it wants to do, which is make exports more competitive, so more of its products can be sold. But analysts are saying to me that for any devaluation to actually have an impact, you've got to devalue the currency by 10 to 30%. And that's got to be sustained over the course of a year. So what many economists and analysts have been telling me here is that we should expect further devaluation in the Chinese currency to come in the days ahead.
But Karishma, won't this start some sort of currency war, some sort of race to the bottom in which nobody really actually ends up benefiting from?
Well, that's what they're calling it, a global currency war. Those headlines are being splashed all over the world today. And in fact, one analyst that I spoke to earlier today said exactly that China, in a rather desperate move to manage its economy, to push towards a more export-driven economy. Remember, over the last couple of years, although China has benefited from an export-driven economy, it has said that it needs to rebalance and move towards a more consumption-led model. But many analysts are calling this a sign of panic, a sign of desperation, that formula may not be working and that China needs to revert back, or wants to revert back, to export-driven growth in order to shore up the millions of jobs in Chinese factories, Daniela, all across the country that employs so many villagers.
Karishma, what can we read from the tea leaves here? Actually, it's probably not that secretive. What is this telling us about the health and state of the Chinese economy itself?
I think you're right. There's no great secret that Chinese officials are extremely concerned about the health of the world's second largest economy. They have said that they want to move from an export-driven growth model to more rebalancing of the economy. But if you look at some of the export figures that came out over the weekend that showed a massive slump from a year ago, so I think it would be fair to say that many of these measures that we're seeing is an attempt to shore up the economy, to try and get to that target growth point that they need to keep people employed all across the country.
Okay, Karishma Vaswani there for us, our Asia business correspondent. Appreciate the analysis live for us in Singapore. Thank you.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.